Charles Ponzi is an Italian. He tried to conduct many multiple investment fronts in the US and Canada. He was actually born into a rich family, but the family lost their fortune due to a downturn in business. Born in Lugo, Italy in 1882, he lost his money in his university years while trying to keep up with his friend, having been born into a rich home, but when there's no more money, it's hard to keep up. Eventually graduated as a broke person, so he took a journey to US. His first job was as a waiter. He played funny and he got fired. After that period, he went to Canada. There was an Italian bank there. He got a job as a bank teller, so he was exposed to money. After a while, the bank ran into trouble as they were owing many investors interests on their investments. So the bank eventually folded up. And what did Charles do? He stole some of the money and flew to Mexico. So he has been nursing the idea that you could get away with some things, some funny thoughts. After a while, he came back to Boston to set up a business called the Security Exchange Company, and he was trying to raise funds. He went to the bank, but it was turned down. So he turned to his friends and the public to raise funds. Actually, 18 people gave him $1,800 each. So that was big money. So eventually, what he intended to do was to get this international reply coupon. This was a means of communication back then between companies and individuals. So rather than people paying for postage stamp, which was quite high, they used this IRC, the international reply coupon, to communicate. And as at this period in Italy, the IRC were quite cheap due to World War I, so that kind of hit the economy. So he saw it as an opportunity to make money. So he invested the money he has a lot in this IRC. He bought them, then in exchange for postage stamp, which is quite higher in the US. So he convinced his friend to invest their money and promise them high return on their investments. So a lot of people put in their money and they were getting return on their investments. That made Charles Ponzi a millionaire all of a sudden. But he started living lavishly and they start to question the source of his wealth. So the government swooped on him and he lost some of the money. The government blocked his account, so he didn't have access. After a while, he was charged to court on 86 counts of fraudulent acts, of which he admitted to only one. Eventually, he was jailed for 5 years. A lot of investors lost their money. So this is just a brief background of where the name Ponzi came from, or Ponzi scheme. Let's get into the presentation for today. Here is the Ponzi scheme mastermind, who has this wonderful idea of turning investors' money into profits and paying them a juicy return on investments. Sounds so good to be true, right? It's possible to convince the potential investors to invest in his investment idea, and also expect the initial investors to do the same to others, thereby creating an endless chain of more and more people trying to benefit from the juicy offer. So you may want to ask, how does this scheme works actually? After the schemer is able to convince his investors, they make certain payments to him on terms agreed, and after a month or two, depending on the terms agreed to by both parties, how the initial investors get paid by the schemer. The initial investors, thinking his or her money has been well invested, is simply paid by the schemer from the new investors' funds just recruited. And the cycle goes on and on. With every new fund, it pays the next person in line. What happens eventually? Boom. Everything come crashing like a pack of cards. That is always the case with every Ponzi scheme in history. Why, you may want to ask. Investors are made to believe that their money is being invested in real physical business, but rather the mastermind is being enriched day in, day out by every new investors. Then he starts living a luxury life by buying houses, cars, and enjoying the best thing in life. That is the bitter truth. Another reason is this scheme actually becomes saturated when there is no new investors and the mastermind take to his heel. Most people become indebted. Many cry endlessly. Let that not be your story. Be wise with your money. If you have enjoyed this presentation, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't. Do not forget to share with other families. Till I come your way next time, I remain yours faithfully, Femi Julo. Take care of you and stay safe.